And then there is one enemy that the museum staff battle against constantly. It cannot be defeated, only held back. This enemy is time. The most vulnerable items are paintings and calligraphy, often done on silk or paper with colors that fade when exposed to the light. They have to be treated with the utmost care. When the rarest examples of Song Dynasty paintings went on display together, the exhibition could only run for 45 days. Any longer, and irreparable damage might have been the result.
The National Palace Museum has the world's greatest collection of paintings and calligraphy. Altogether, the museum has more than 10,000 pieces. A few of them are more than 1,000 years old.
A team of highly trained restorers maintains these historical works of art. Incipient tears have to be pasted over so they don't get worse. Faded sections have to be painted over with color that is painstakingly matched to the original. Wood covers can be attacked by worms, leaving many holes. These have to be filled with non-acidic filling, one by one. Some of the more complex work can take up to a year to finish. But even the more resilient and long-lived materials need care. Glazes on ceramics can deteriorate, weather, chip, and discolor. A microscopic examination can reveal flaws that need patching up. And bronze can tarnish and decay, catching the smallest hint of corrosion before it has a chance to cause major damage means that this 3,000-year-old artifact could survive another 3,000 years intact.
We call ourselves the Antiquities Hospital because antiquities are like people. People get old and sick, and antiquities are the same. As time goes on, they suffer from aging. They have a limited lifespan.
An ancient book has come adrift from its binding, so Mr. Lai is set to restore it. While a painting may have been hung or rolled away for years, books tend to have a very active life, being handled frequently. So, based on traditional ways, the museum has developed its own method of restoring them. It is one which respects ancient Chinese working methods, while using materials designed to preserve rather than themselves decaying. In his years at the museum, by his own reckoning, Mr. Lai has worked on over 11,000 ancient books. One thing everyone who works at the museum shares is a sense of responsibility for the items put into their care. They see themselves as the stewards of a collection, which lies at the very heart of Chinese culture. But the question faces them, as it faces museums all around the world: how to keep the museum relevant in the 21st century. The National Palace Museum is taking this bold step into the future, with its new branch being built in the south of Taiwan. This new museum will itself be a work of art. with its stunning architecture, creating a landscape of mountain and water.
The southern branch, its collection and exhibits will mainly be drawn from the collection at the Taipei National Palace Museum. But we hope that it will be different from the main collection. The National Palace Museum's collection is really focused on Chinese artworks. We hope to use the new museum to look at Asian culture. So the main purpose of the southern branch is Asian art and culture.
Museums are concerned with the past, but they have to embrace the future. Because the one fear that stalks the corridors of all museums: what if the visitors stop coming? China's imperial treasure belonged to just one man, the emperor, and the pieces were created for his eyes only. Now, the National Palace Museum of Taiwan wants to place these artifacts in the hands of everyone using the very latest technology.
If we can apply all these information technology to make all these collections more durable, more shareable, and more far-reach, certainly that would be something a museum would like to do.
Among those helping the museum achieve this is the National Taiwan University, applying its expertise in 3D imaging.
We got 3 angles all together. So now we can start filming from the top. When the camera is in the position, the table starts to turn. See the camera coming down. Now we'll get images from this angle.
The object is then assembled into a 3D replica, its first use for a virtual online museum, where, unlike in a real museum, you can actually grab hold of the exhibits and turn them with a mouse. But that's still a little too removed.
If you look at this, you'll see it's in a case. The software follows the hand's movements. See how it follows my hand? See the arrows? The image can be shown on a normal monitor or projected into this crystal ball. So it feels like you're controlling the object. The museum's precious artifact is in your hand.
The museum has also harnessed another institution, the Industrial Technology Research Institute. Their plan? To put us inside the body of the artist.
We want to bring the two worlds together, especially when we talk about the Chinese culture. We wanted to combine culture and the arts with technology to create a new world.
A poem from the museum is projected onto a wall where 2 volunteers can read it. Beside them, the latest wideband detectors, like personal radar systems, remotely sense the rate at which they breathe. Another computer projects the poem onto the floor. Now one person can control the speed of the calligraphy. The other controls the ink flow. The sand is just there for effect.